What's going on, everybody? This is ODC, that's me, and I'm back with another action figure review. This is my review of the Star Wars Black speeder bike with the Scout. Really cool really cool packaging. I do like it. Mine's, as you can tell, it's a little beat up. There's a little I got this guy for it was half price off on Amazon. So he was around $17 with Prime shipping and all that, free 2-day shipping or whatever you want to call it. Because the package was damaged, it was a damaged package, but the figure is absolutely perfect. There's no, obviously you can tell it's a little woof. But I don't plan on keeping this packaging. I plan on taking them out and seeing what this guy can do. On the back, though, you have a silhouette of the speeder or the Scout on his bike. Speeder bike, and I'll do the little read up here. There you go. If you want to pause it and read it, you can. Okay. But funny story about this, I actually purchased this guy before, and I actually have to return this. It's pretty funny though. I got this, and I think it was a defect. I don't know. It has been opened before. So whoever tried to sell me this other one tried to pull a fast one on me, because I actually picked it up a couple days ago on Monday, and I'm like, the hell is this? It's a freaking stormtrooper on a speeder bike, and it's not a defect or anything like that, because the tape has been broken over here and it has been opened before. So I'm not really sure. I'm actually getting my money back, and they actually I don't even want this, so I mean, what am I going to do with it? It's obviously it seems like it's a sand trooper, because he's all dirtied up and stuff like that, but he doesn't even have his sand trooper stuff, so thought that was pretty funny. But I will be returning that. So let's get the speeder bike and Scout out of packaging and take a closer look at them. Okay, and we're back with this guy out of packaging, and he really does look really cool. He does come with a clear display stand, which is really nice to have. Glad they added that in. And if you're asking yourself why this display stand looks so awkward, there's a function behind it, and there's a reason why, which I'll get to right now. I want to touch on this right away. He actually still has his clear bands on, which I'll be taking those off in a second, but I want to get to this first. The reason why this is shaped so oddly, let me just unpeg that, is because it has 3 functions. This is the highest setting function, which he sits at this level, and then he has a second function where you can just plop this down like so, and then plug it in again, and you can have a lower setting if you want. Just plug it in here. There we go. Like so. So there you go for that. He's a little bit lower now. And then the third setting, which is pretty cool that they did this, is this last final peg right here. And you plug it in, and now he's even lower. So you could really have 3 speeder bikes kind of next to each other, all on 3 levels, and it will look really cool, kind of like a chase scene or something like that. So, but let me pause, and I'll get all the rest of these little doodads off, and I'll be right back. Okay, and we're back with the speeder bike and Scout out of packaging, and I have to tell you guys that this is probably my favorite design for a stormtrooper slash I guess if you want Imperial soldier, whatever you want to call it. I know he's called a Imperial Scout, but since I was a kid, I think this was one of my first action figures from Star Wars, was the Speeder Scout. And I actually really just like the design overall of the Scout, and it looks really cool. You know, the boots are a little bit different, and I just really liked it overall. But let me set him aside real quick. We'll get to him in a second. And I wanted to point out some more details and stuff about this bike here. We already talked about the stand here, so I'll set that aside as well. But this the bike is really Just really cool. And there's so many nice, cool little details on here. There's some scuffing marks going on here on the sides, on the near the seat over here. Kind of like he's been through a battle already, or a few times actually. Up over here, nice gray shading going throughout the black, even on this nice little tip at the end of the bike right there. Oh, also to point out, which I haven't seen anybody else point out yet, is the bottom portion actually can come off. It's just pegged in right there. So not to worry, if yours comes out, you can just pop it right back in. And actually, if you don't even want it to pop out ever again, you can probably just super glue it and just peg it right back in like so. So no big deal there. And there's obviously the peg hole for the stand. And then you have his foot pedals here. Right there. Nice shading going on this little satchel right here. Nice little black shading going throughout the beige or khaki or whatever you want to call it on that. And then his exhaust flaps, I believe these are. Look like exhaust flaps. Yeah, they're just like exhaust flaps. You can see the engine back over here and throughout here. Nice black piping going throughout here. There's some weathering, gray shading weathering going on the sides here. Just a lot of work and detail actually went into this, even on the blaster here underneath. And it does rotate as well, so there's a point of articulation. I don't think anything else is really articulated on this, including the flaps. I don't think they're really supposed to move too much. They move a little bit, but that's about it. I think it's just the blaster, really, just the rotation in the blaster right here is pretty much it. The handlebars don't really move, but they are a pliable plastic, so you can maneuver them to fit in his hand nicely, as well as the pedals. And the pedals have some nice weathering going on there, paint shading. So just a really nice bike, a really nice set, to be honest with you, getting these. So let me just get that out of the way now, and we'll bring Mr. Scout back in here. So a lot of people that aren't familiar with the movie might have a problem with this small gun, which I've seen in a couple other people's reviews, but this is an accurate pistol. The Scouts, the Speeder Scouts actually had this small pistol. This is accurate to the movie. They had it for a reason, because they didn't need a long, big rifle. Where were they going to put it, really? Unless you're going to attach it to the back of this, but then maybe the weight would weigh him down, so he kind of just keeps it right there in his holster. And it does wiggle around a little bit, but for the most part, it stays in. I mean, obviously, if you're posing him or trying to get him on the bike, you want to take the gun out, then pose him into the bike, but there's no issue there. So there you go. Maybe they could have clipped it in a little bit better, but for the most part, it looks nice. Setting that aside, we're just going to take a look at the Speeder Scout and pop the head off really quick. Take a closer look at the head sculpt, if it'll focus. There we go. Looks really nice. Really do like it. Maybe I would have liked a little bit more of a weathering shading, maybe like a little bit more like they did on the boots here, the lower portion of the boot on the head, but I don't mind it too much. All the markings on there. Looks really, really cool. I do like it. So there's your head sculpt. Nicely done. These are all sculpted in and painted nicely. All the line work is pretty flawless on the head sculpt. I don't have any problems with that. No issues. I pretty much don't have much negative to say about this set. It's a really nice set, and you can find it for a decent price. Like I said, I found this on Amazon. Obviously, I got one that was wrong, but for the most part, he's pretty nice. As far as his articulation goes, his head does move side to side, and it can look up pretty decently. It does look down, more so down than up. But he can do a full 360 rotation. His arms move up like around there just because of the shoulder pads impeding the rest of the articulation. It does go down. It can do a full 360. He's got a bicep swivel. He's got a double jointed elbow. He's got a wrist swivel and a wrist, no wrist hinge. Oh, his hinges do go in this way, so he can kind of pose better on the bike. So they do go up and down as opposed to in and out. It does have the diaphragm joint, which we're used to on the Star Wars figures. No waist swivel. Actually, maybe he does. No, he does not. Okay, so there you go. He's got his T-jointed hips, which go out about that far, and they go forward and back. And this is a pliable plastic right here on his belt satchel, or whatever you want to call it. He's got an upper thigh swivel, double jointed knees. He does have a boot swivel, which is nice and hidden. He's got an ankle hinge, which goes back and does go forward. And he does have that nice ankle pivot we all love. So, but back to some of the details. You got some shading right here, making it look like it's weathering. Just bring it in real quick. And there's a different shade of gray right here on the pouches to kind of differentiate throughout the rest of his suit. Looks really good. Nice detail there. Everything's pretty much sculpted on this guy. He's got a little pack right there. Got line work. It's pretty good. All of his belt and utility belt, or whatever you want to call it, is sculpted. Knee pads look nice. Nice texturing on his pants, and even cuffs and on his arms. Excuse me. Boots would have nice. It would have been nice if they increased the amount of shading all the way up throughout the boot here. I think that would have made a little bit more sense. It seems like they just stopped right there, but it would have been nice if they included more shading above the ankle portion. But still, overall, looks nice. He's got 4 peg holes because there's actually 2 peg holes, excuse me, on the bike, but he's got 4. So I guess you could, if you want to put his heel up in the front of the speeder bike like so, you can do that. So, like I said, really nice set, and his gun does fit into his hand. He's actually got 2 fingers separated right here, and you kind of just pop it in like so, and then just peel it over. And you can do it on both hands too. So it's pretty easy to pop his little gun in there, and if you want to have him on his bike kind of shooting, like he was shooting at, what was it, Luke? I think it was Luke and Leia. I think it was just Luke. He was the one speeder bike was kind of, or biker scout, excuse me, was shooting at him. But I think it might have been Leia, actually. I think he shot her off the bike or whatever. But yeah, still a really cool set. Like I said, really awesome set. He's not very hard to get into the bike either. I don't want to make this a longer review, so I won't stick him in the bike, but he does belong on the bike. He's got the right articulation to put him on the bike, and I would definitely, absolutely recommend this figure. This is a A+ figure right here. Great paint shading, great paint applications, great sculpting all throughout the whole set, and if you can get your hands on 2 or 3, this is a great army builder if you're trying to do a scene. So with that being said, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like I said, 2 thumbs up here, and I will see you guys on the flip side.